120 New South Wales police officers arrived in Christchurch today to provide additional support to New Zealand in the wake of Tuesday's devastating earthquake. Their presence will be a welcome sight for local New Zealand police and emergency workers who've been working tirelessly in extremely difficult and distressing circumstances. John Taylor reports on another desperate day of rescue efforts.
Early morning, and now with strange familiarity, emergency workers marshal in the heart of Christchurch. For the first time in its history, New Zealand is in a national state of emergency, and there's no shortage of people, experts and volunteers, prepared to help.
Overnight, we've continued with our search. I'm saddened to report that we have found no more survivors overnight. The death toll continues to rise.
For those young students who we're uncertain about at the moment, for those people in those far-off places, your families are our families. Your children are our children. There is no difference for us. There are no different standards. We all just work together because we are sharing with you in just as intimate a way that feeling of loss and concern.
3 days have now passed since the earthquake struck, but authorities say rescue hasn't turned into recovery.
No, it's not. I spent quite a bit of time at the CTV building last night talking to the person responsible for the search there, who's an Australian. He was telling me that he had spent some considerable time in Mexico following the quakes there, and he was amazed that they pulled people out of buildings in Mexico many days after the quake that looked exactly like the sorts of buildings he's working on here. So we cling to a little bit of hope, I suppose.
One loss is, upsetting enough for our community. Looking at the scale of what's in front of us with over 100 confirmed deaths, it's an immense toll in a city of just on 500,000 people. And there is potential, obviously, for those numbers to climb. So, people need to prepare themselves.
The number of emergency workers and police here continues to grow, with still more arriving from overseas.
In terms of core urban search and rescue, we'll be at this stage around the 500 to 600 mark. Add to that at least 120 civil defence personnel who are working within the overall rescue mission. Add to that elements from New Zealand Fire Service. There's a large contingent here in terms of normal fire service personnel, military, police, medical. I'd estimate we'd be 1,500 plus 2,000 people focused on rescue and emergency response activities here in town.
The heart of Christchurch remains closed off to the public. It's simply too dangerous. But authorities have taken us on what you can only describe as a ghastly tour. Behind me you can see the diggers there at work. What was there was a building, but it was so badly damaged that it was threatening, even after the quake, the neighbouring buildings, so it had to go.
We were only granted access to a few places, but street after street in central Christchurch has been affected. Few buildings are unscathed. Cars are marked to show they have no bodies.
Behind me there is the Grand Chancellor Hotel. Now, either that building is going to fall down or it's going to be demolished in a controlled demolition. Authorities say it poses too great a risk to the teams that are now operating in the city.
There's a sense that time has stopped in the city. Even rescuers are confronted.
I was a bit taken aback when I got here. I'd heard the reports and everything else, but when you actually see it for yourself, it has quite an impact.
The Pine Gould building was 4 stories high. It's where a task force from New South Wales has concentrated its efforts.
We've managed to rescue one live patient, found a number of others, and we've just about done all we can at that building, unfortunately.
A once elegant city has been turned to rubble. It's distressing for locals to see, including bus driver Ron Blythe.
People in Australia probably know more than some in the eastern suburbs. They haven't seen TV for a week. They haven't got internet access. They only hear on radio.
Yeah.
And it's quite strange.
Amidst all the destruction, he's trying to stay positive. believing the future can be good.
I think that's the thing we've got to look at now, is let's build something with some distinctive style.
Because the Christchurch that you know really lies in ruins.
Yeah, it's gone. Well, do something different, do something better. Let's make something out of it.
Authorities have now cut short this tour because bodies are being removed at the nearby CTV building, and they don't want those images to be broadcast. But they do want the media here to show the destruction of Christchurch. They want the world and New Zealand to see just how much damage this earthquake has caused. Strong aftershocks continue to shake Christchurch as authorities continue to tally the missing and the dead. The names of 6 people, including those of 2 babies, have now been released, and there are many more to come. The Mayor of Christchurch has said that people of this city should brace themselves for the worst. How do they do it?
Well, they'll do it in different ways. I think that that's going to be a very tough call for some people.
It's a really, really, very difficult time for everybody. It's very hard.
John Taylor with that.